What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I made my way down to Mooresville Ford. We're going to take a look at the 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor. Huge shout out to them for providing this truck for me today. Definitely check out their website, that will be in the description below. This one is finished off in Ford Performance Blue. It has an MSRP just over $73,000. Also, don't forget, for the month of February, we are doing a GoPro giveaway. More details will be later in this video. Under the hood of the Raptor, this is powered by the high-output EcoBoost 3.5-liter V6. It's only paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. You can shift using the steering wheel-mounted paddle shifters as well. It'll produce 450 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 510 pound-feet of torque at 3,500 RPM. It is rear-wheel drive with the optional four-wheel drive engagement. It weighs right around 5,700 pounds and it'll do 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds. It has a top speed of 107 miles an hour, and with a fuel capacity of 36 gallons, you can expect to see 15 miles per gallon in the city and 18 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 146 inches. Its overall length is 231.9. Its height is 78.5, and it has ground clearance at 11.5 inches. This truck also has an approach angle of 30.2 degrees. Its breakover angle is 23 degrees, and its departure angle is 21.8 degrees. Starting up front on the Raptor, we're going to take a look at the grille. This is what separates it from a regular F-150. You can see Ford spelled out. It gives it a really aggressive design. I also like the fact too that all the cutouts in the grille, not only are they functional to provide more cooling to the engine, they're also nicely integrated into all of the letters. So you can see them around the F, on the center of the O and the D, and then even in the middle of the R. Right below that, we have a forward-facing camera to help with extra visibility, along with some more cutouts down below. And I really like the trim that runs around the entire grille. It just has a really nice finish to it. As we make our way to the side here, this has quad beam LED headlights. This also has LED daytime running lights and turn signals as well. The DRLs and the turn signals run the entire outer side of the housing, and it has a really cool design along with these cutouts down below, so you can see a little bit of the tire. We have 2 tow hooks along with a skid plate up underneath, and you can see there's more mesh in the lower section, again to help provide better cooling, and then a nice trim piece in the middle. At the top of the grille, you'll see there are 3 amber lights, just giving it a really cool design. And then as we make our way up to the hood, you'll see there's really clean lines running down both sides, along with functional vents in the center of the hood. Moving to the side of the Raptor, we'll start off with these 17-inch wheels. They have a really nice finish to them, along with a 6 double-spoke design. They do have functional bead locks, and they're wrapped in a BF Goodwrench all-terrain tire. They measure about 35 inches. Behind that, we'll take a look at these functional vents on the upper quarter panel. It just gives it a really cool look. Side mirrors are body colored. They're power folding, feature the integrated turn signal, and you'll see there's a camera nicely integrated underneath each one as part of the 360 camera system. Down below, this has steel running boards. You can see Raptor in the back section of it, just giving it a really cool look. Up top, this does have a full panoramic sunroof. You can see the door handles are body colored as well, and then there's really great lines that run the length of this vehicle. The fender arches also have a really nice bulge to them as well, so you can see the bodywork coming out away from the tire here, just giving it a cool look. There's a nice line that runs on the top of the door handles, and then down below you can see there's even more lines, just giving it a really aggressive look. Also, what sets the Raptor apart from the regular F-150 is its suspension. All around, this has a Fox suspension. It features high output, live valve monotube shocks with internal bypass, travel, and the suspension can adapt to any of the terrain that you're driving this truck on, so it's a really well-equipped suspension for this truck. And finishing off in the rear, you can see Ford spelled out across the tailgate just like up front, so it's nice how it's integrated into the back here. F-150 is on one side with Raptor on the other, has a nice trim piece that separates it from the blue. This has your normal backup camera with all the parking sensors down in the lower section of the bumper. This also has LED taillights. You can see there is a tow hook on each side along with the dual exhaust, and this can tow up to 8,000 pounds. That's going to wrap it up for the exterior walk around on the 2020 Ford Raptor. Definitely an awesome truck. I love it in blue. There are so many cool features on the exterior. Before we go ahead and hop into the inside, I'm just going to go ahead and lock the vehicle and then double tap on this button just underneath it. It has remote start, so that is an awesome feature to have, especially in cold weather like it is today. And then you can just double tap on that to shut off the vehicle. But with it still locked and the key in my pocket, I'm just going to walk up, place my hand on the door handle, and it will automatically unlock. Moving inside now, we're going to start off with the door panel. This has really nice leather and silver stitching on the armrest, a nice trim piece on the grab handle, which also functions as the release handle. There's a lever just on the other side of that, You have a little bit of storage space in the middle section of the door, along with a great amount of storage on the lower section. It runs the entire length of the door. There's one speaker above that. This does have a 7-speaker audio sound system. There's also 3 memory seating adjustments along with your lock and unlock. And then all the window controls are just above that, along with the power controls for the side mirrors. All right, so hopping up into the Raptor now, let's start off with these seats. You can see Raptor is spelled out, giving it a really cool look. These are heated and ventilated seats. They have a 10-way power adjustability to them as well. Really nice bolsters. I like the material that runs down the side, so it's definitely a comfortable seat. And then moving to the steering wheel, this has perforated leather on each side, along with solid leather on the top and the bottom. There's a red stripe on the top, and then Raptor is spelled out on the bottom, giving it a really cool look. This has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that are quite large. They are finished off in aluminum. They have a really nice solid click to them. Moving on to the controls on the steering wheel now. Off and to the right, you have your voice commands along with volume and tuning for the radio. You can mute the audio. You have your Bluetooth controls. There are a few different modes you can go into for the steering wheel. You have normal, sport, and comfort. And then there's also a bunch of driving modes. You do have to be in 4-wheel drive to engage some of these, but this has Baja, Rock Crawl. You have to be in 4-wheel drive for that. Slippery, tow and haul. There's sport, normal, deep snow and sand. Over to the left side, you have all of your cruise control settings along with the adaptive cruise. And then all of these buttons here will go through this center screen. So there's a lot more information that we can look at. Right now we are in My View, so you can look at your fuel economy, your towing information. We can scroll over to your trip and fuel, so you have some more information that you can see there. Along with your truck info, your tire pressure, you have your gauge view and other things that you can go into. We can scroll over to towing. You have your off-road settings, so you can go into the status, look at your pitch and roll, along with if the lockers are locked and where your steering angle is. And then we can scroll over to settings, so you can adjust a lot of things like your pre-collision, your lane keeping assist, your trailer blind spot, and different aids like that. You can see just above that, there's some more vital information like the engine temperature and your fuel gauge. Off and to the left side is the tach, and then the speedometer is on the far right. To the left of the steering wheel, we have the electronic parking brake, along with being able to move the pedals forwards and backwards. You have all of the headlight controls along with the bed light. You can turn on and off the lights on the side mirrors as well if you need to use those at nighttime. There's one air vent with some nice trim around it. You can see there's more leather up on the dash. In the center again, this is a 4.2-inch screen, and then as we make our way to the center, this is an 8-inch screen. Just above that, this has a Bang & Olufsen sound system. There's a little bit of storage space as well. Down below, we have audio to the far left. We can go into the climates, and you can easily turn those on. This does have a dual zone climate control system. You have where you'd like the air to go right in the middle here, and then fan speed is over to the right side. You have a few other buttons that you can go into, along with clicking on menu, so you can bring up the heated steering wheel, along with some other buttons. We have the phone right next to that, along with the navigation. We can pull that up full screen. You have some other apps to go into, along with all of your settings. So you can configure your phone, your clock, your apps, different things like that. Swipe over to valet mode, you have your display. Just above that, we have the traction control button, along with a downhill assist control. We can push on this camera button, and that will automatically pull up the surround view camera. Right now, you can see the forward-facing camera, along with the top-down view. If I go ahead and put the truck into reverse, now we see the backup camera with the top-down view as well. If I click on this plus button here, that will bring up a different angle for the rear camera. So if you're backing up to a trailer, you have a little bit better visibility. And then to the far left is the engine start-stop feature. Just below that, we have the power and volume for the radio, along with tuning to the far right. You have some other presets in the center as well for that. Just to the right of that, there's another 12-volt and a 3-prong outlet if you need to use those. Over on the left side, we have the engine start-stop button, along with the 4-wheel drive selector and the rear locking differential. Just below that, we have the trailer backup system, so you can easily use that when you are backing up. That will just aid in being able to do that, along with the trailer brake just below that. Right in the center, we have physical buttons for the AC, so you have each temperature for driver and passenger, along with some more recirc buttons in the center. As I mentioned earlier, this does have heated and ventilated seats, so you have those adjustments on both sides. Fan speed is right in the center. And then moving down below, this has 2 USBs on one side, a good amount of storage space, and then you can close this up as well. Off and to the right side, there are 2 cup holders, along with a mini storage spot right in the center for your keys or phone or something like that. And then looking at the shifter, you can see it's wrapped in leather. This does have plus and minus on one side, so you can use that to shift between the gears or using these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. doors, whichever one makes sense. Just behind that is the lane keeping assist, and then as we make our way to the center armrest here and center console area, it is wrapped in leather with more stitching. I'm just going to push on this button here to open it up, and it reveals a ton of storage space. You can see there's a removable tray here that you can easily take out, and then there is so much room in here that you can easily put whatever you would like to, so that is awesome to see. As we make our way over to the glove box, you can see that has a good amount of space with a tray on the top, and then a little bit of storage space just above that for anything that you want to place there. And then we'll go ahead and take one last look at these seats. Very nice design to them. And then up top, this does have a full panoramic sunroof, so you even get that for the backseat passengers. All those controls are up front here, along with some auxiliary switches, so that is pretty cool to see. If you want to hook up lights or anything like that, compressors, you have the option to do that, and you have switches already available for that. Just in front of that, we have a sunglass holder. You can open and close the rear glass just by using this button here. Then, of course, you can adjust the sunshade, the sunroof itself, along with the dome lights. Now in the back seats of the Raptor, you have plenty of space for 3 people to be back here comfortably. I am 5'10", I have the front seat set at my height, and I have plenty of space in front of my knees, and then about 2 or 3 inches above my head. Behind both front seats, there's a small pocket here for anything that you want to store there, and these seats are heated, so you have 2 controls right in the center here, along with 2 USB ports and a 3-prong outlet, and there's 2 air vents on each side. You have 2 cup holders right in the back side of that center console, and then if you fold this armrest down, you have an additional 2 cup holders as well that folds out, which is nice to see. Also, touching base on the door panel, it has the same attention to detail as up front, along with the storage space in the center and down below. These seats also have a 60-40 split to them on the lower section of the seat, so all you have to do is pull this up and it'll lock into place, giving you plenty of room for anything that you want to slide through here. It also has a divider here, so you can throw some items on one side and they won't roll around or anything like that. Moving on to the bed now. This has the 67-inch bed. I'm just going to double tap the button on the key fob and the tailgate will automatically open up, which is very cool to see. This does have a bed liner to give it even more protection, along with a dome light on each side and some tie-down hooks for anything that you need to throw in the back. My favorite feature on this truck is the step that's in the tailgate. So all you have to do is push on this button right here, and that will pull the step all the way out towards you and then all the way down. And then you can go ahead and pull this handle all the way out, flip it up, it'll lock into place, and that gives you a great step to get in and out of the truck, along with a grab handle there just to give you a little more security. And then you can easily close it up, close the tailgate, and you're on your way. All right, so getting the 2020 Raptor out on the road now. This is actually the first time I've ever checked out a Raptor. If you're familiar with our channel, Brian has reviewed a majority of the Raptors and even some modified ones. So this is the first time I'm actually moving and driving one, and this is pretty awesome to check out. I love these paddle shifters here. Not too often you hop into a pickup truck and you see these 4 or 5 inch steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. So that is pretty cool. I can't wait to try those out and see how responsive they are. But so far, coming from my mid-size truck into a full-size Raptor, I can definitely tell it is quite larger, but it's really not all that hard to drive either. It's something that you get used to, obviously, being in a truck like this, but I can definitely tell how big it is even from the inside here with all the storage space that you have up front. I also just noticed too, on each sides of the center console area, there's a little storage bin. So if you want to throw your phone down there or something like that, it's on the driver's side and the passenger side. So just a little bit more hidden storage space. But just cruising down the road now, you definitely feel very high up in this truck. It is a tall truck. I really like the fact too that you can see the hood vents from this side. Just gives it more of an aggressive look from the driver's seat here. I've just been cruising in normal mode for a couple miles right now. I'm gonna put it over into sport mode and then down into the manual here so we can test out these paddle shifters. So just going down to 4th gear now, going to 3rd gear. We're coming up to a turn here so we can test how this does. 2nd gear, you can hear the engine a good bit there. And then just giving it a little bit of gas. Wow. Nothing crazy, but those shifts are super responsive. Nothing I would expect from a pickup truck again. Having that performance driving to a truck like this is pretty awesome. Now, obviously, I think this would be a heck of a lot more fun off-road, using these paddles and, going on some dirt trails and things like that. But even on the road, that's exciting. That gives you a really cool, exciting factor to driving a truck. Not that they're not fun to drive, but I'm not even doing anything crazy here We're all the way up into 10th gear right now, just cruising like normal. That puts a smile on your face. It's not crazy loud. Obviously you could make it louder, but at the same time, it's fun to drive even just like that. So we're coming to another stop here, going all the way down to 2nd gear, coming around this turn here. For a heavy truck, it gets up to the speed limit just like that. I can't get over how responsive these paddles are, but I couldn't imagine putting this into Baja, switching it over into manual mode, and just having a blast in this truck. That's what it's for. It's meant to go off-road, do high-speed runs. You have the suspension to back that up. You can even get some air in this truck and still be fine. So it is purpose-built for off-road, but at the same time, it has a really smooth on-road driving experience. Coming around this turn here, it's a heavy truck, so you're definitely going to feel it. Wow, just in normal mode, getting out of that turn, you have plenty of power. So even going around turns like that, just normal driving, you can power out if you want to. So let's move on to the overall visibility now. Obviously, pickup trucks really don't have any blind spots. All the glass is really easy to see around. That back glass is pretty much right behind you there. So looking over your right shoulder, there's really no blind spot. Same with your left shoulder, you can easily glance over and see. And then I do like the fact that this has a full panoramic sunroof. So it gives you plenty of light to the inside, even for backseat passengers. I really like everything on the inside. It has a premium feel to it. I like all the leather on the steering wheel, it's on the seats. Really nice center configuration with the screen and the buttons underneath it. There's not too much going on there. You have all the physical AC buttons, which I really like to see. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive in the 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor. Once again, huge shout out to Mooresville Ford for providing this truck for me today. Definitely check out their website. That will be in the description below. Also, don't forget, for the month of February, we are doing a GoPro giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel and comment on videos. At the end of February, we're gonna pick the video with the most comments and then pick a random winner from that video. So that's all you have to do, subscribe, comment on videos. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video.